and welcome to part 2 of traveling internationally with me and Mila. In part 1, we went through the preparation process of getting a pet ready to travel internationally. And in this video, we're gonna go ahead and pack and travel from Colombia to Mexico. Mila, of course, is napping and still blissfully unaware that we're making any moves. But I'm sure that will change very soon as I'm about to get the suitcases out of the closet and start packing. I'm gonna touch on a few things as we're going through the packing process. First, I wanna show you what we keep in Mila's backpack, the things that we'll need the day of travel. I'm gonna show you things that we keep in our checked bag, the things that just make her day-to-day life a little more consistent as we move around. And then we'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be at our 8 a.m. flight, and hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes smoothly. And tomorrow at this time, we will be on the beach in Mexico. She is relentless with an afternoon nap. Okay, I wanna take you guys through what we put in Mila's backpack on the day of our international travels. So first we have her baby blankie, which is important because it gets cold on planes. We have a couple of churros that she's trying to eat and a little bit of dry food. I normally put her wet food in our checked bag just because she doesn't eat a ton, obviously, while we're in transit, but a little bit of dry food on hand is nice to have. Our important things blue folder, her travel litter box, her collapsible water bottle, some poop bags, her green eggplant toy that I got her when she was a baby, a little leash, and Feel Away Classics. I used Feel Away Classics in our last international travels, and it really helps keep her calm. So I'm gonna use it tomorrow again for sure. I know I've said it before, but I love the Mr. Peanut bag because it's got all these little pockets and compartments where I can fit things. It's got this zipper panel in the back. I can put Mila's travel litter box and our important documents folder in there. And it's great because I'll always know where my passport is and where Mila's vaccine passport is. But this bag is just the best. So this is kind of a weird but a really helpful travel hack, especially when you're traveling with pets. So your pet serves as your personal item, meaning you can't bring anything on the plane that doesn't fit in your pet's bag. Now, as we just saw, I put most of Mila's stuff in her backpack, but I still have things that I need when I fly. So what I do is I wear a jacket that has really deep pockets. See, big pockets. And I use my headphones bag and I put all the things that I need in there. So I've got like a snack, my music phone, my wallet, gum, Tylenol, Advil. And I'll put like my day-to-day phone and my GoPro in this, stick it in my pockets, and they'll never know the difference. Mila, get out of the trash bag. What is she doing? You are not feral. You are not feral. So there's certain items that I keep with us everywhere to help keep Mila's life consistent. Her tunnels that pack down so nicely. Arguably the weirdest one, and that is a series of Screen that she loves to play in that I bought when we were building her catio. And I put it on the ground in the room and she jumps in and out of it, hides her little toys under it, so Screen's coming with us. Her hammock and her little ball scratcher. So right now it's about 6 o'clock. We have to be up for our flight at 4 a.m. I'm gonna make sure all of this fits in my suitcase, but to be honest, this will probably be the last things that I pack, just so she can have her scratcher and ball toy to play with tonight. What's a yawn? Oh, what's a baby yawn, huh?
I'm very curious about this place.
We're more or less as packed as we are going to be for the night. Mila and I went outside for a good long hour on her leash. I'm hoping to wear her out a little bit early so I can get some sleep. Because we have to be up at 4 to be at the airport by 5. Oh, God. Pains me just to say, but hopefully get a little sleep tonight and we'll see you bright and early. I guess not so bright, but early. That's her why is mom awake at 4 o'clock in the morning face, and I can't say that I'm that equally as confused. I'm nervous, I'm always nervous when I fly with her, but I just keep putting good thoughts in my head and just keep thinking like everything will work out just fine. Because I've prepared, I've done everything I can, and everything will go exactly how it's supposed to. So let's get going. Okay, our stuff is ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and take our suitcases downstairs, take our trash out, play with Mila a little bit more, call an Uber, and get out of here.
You wanna go to Mexico, Meals? Mexico?
Okay, it's a little before 5 a.m. We're gonna go and check in for our flight. We are through our airline check-in. They actually let us go through special assistance, which is amazing. Honestly, I'll pay the $135 to not have to wait in line. The man that checked me in even complimented me on having all of my paperwork ready. I don't like to film during these processes. I always feel weird, but basically what they did is they check your documentation, they check you into your flight, they weigh your bag, and then they more or less let you go. So now we're gonna go through customs and security and settle into the airport a little bit. We're through customs and security, everything went fine. Mila was a spectacle, as per always. Everywhere we go, people are like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna get some water and hopefully some caffeine and then find a quiet place for us to settle in before our flight. So I found a nice little hallway by the bathroom that's very quiet. I think about as quiet as we're gonna get in this airport. This is great. I'm gonna go on ahead and take her blanket out and spray it with the Feel Away Classics. Her blanket has to sit out without her for like 20 minutes. I should have done it before I left the house. I just wasn't thinking. I was trying to get us out the door in time. So I think here is probably as good a spot as any just to kind of be quiet for a few minutes because we're gonna have to board soon. Oh look, she found a thing to cat in. Man, we can really spread out in an airport. We are just pacing up and down the terminal, waiting for our flight to board. Mila's all wrapped up in her baby blankie in her backpack, which is so sweet. She normally doesn't use her baby blankie. Sometimes I'll put it in her hammock, but normally she doesn't touch it, except for when we're traveling. She likes to be wrapped in it. She feels safe, I think. It is finally time to board. Let's get on this plane and get up to Mexico. I went ahead and bought a plus seat this time just so we could have a little bit more space and so we could be in front of the plane, in the front of the plane. So we're on seat 6C, and she is, to be honest, once they come by and like check everything, I'll pull her back up because she'll cry during takeoff and I'm not gonna have her cry. So I'm nervous. Takeoff's the worst part for her because her ears pop and everything. What I do is I give her a churu while we're taking off, and then that usually helps calm her down, but it's just very loud.
Ready for takeoff, make sure your seatbelt is fastened and adjust your seat back in the upright position. Your window shade open, carry on bags and 3 tablespoons.
She started crying pretty much the minute we started moving, but she stops crying when I hold her. So. I don't know if it's just a lack of sleep, but I'm just feeling a little emotional. You know, I always worry about flying with her and the effect that moving around has on her. And my mom and one of my friends both kind of said something to me recently that really resonated. Like, as long as she's with you, she's okay. How lucky am I to have a little being on this planet who just loves me so much that she calms down on an airplane for me. In a place where cats are not historically calm. Get myself together. She wanted to get out of her bag for a little bit. She tried to jump down, but I was like, can't do that, buddy. So she's asleep in my lap again. Oh, I hope she's not wiggly the whole flight. Ooh, this must be what it feels like having a baby on a plane. You're just like, I don't know what they're gonna do, and like panic, you know? But right now she's sleeping, so I'm not gonna move a muscle, and hopefully she just stays here. The ground in Cancun. Mila did amazing, as per always, I guess, on planes. This is their 3rd one. They told me I had to put her away during landing, and I tried, but I put her under the seat for a second. She started shaking and crying immediately, so I pulled her back up in my lap. I'm like, I don't want to not follow rules, but also, like, I'm not going to put her in stress. Like, she's attached to her bag under a blanket. She's not jumping out in any world, but I still feel a little guilty. We made it to our co-living, and I was so frantic and flustered in the airport that I didn't film anything. So let me tell you what happened. We get off the plane just fine, go through immigration, get our luggage, go to the animal import office. Everything runs very smoothly there. We're out in like 15 minutes. They complimented how I had all my paperwork ready. Like, so I have to go back through the customs line. They scan both my suitcases and they're like, we need to look through your stuff. I was like, okay. So they open my suitcases and they're looking through my stuff and they're like, you have 2 computers. And I'm like, yeah, I have one that's regular and then I have one that I bought for video editing. Like I have a YouTube channel that I run with my cat. And they're like, sorry, only 1 computer per person in Mexico. And I'm like, what? Like, How is that even a rule? People have personal computers and work computers all of the time. So I go, okay, well, what am I going to throw it away? Like, what are you going to do? And they're like, no, the second one has to be taxed 20%. Well, first he's like, how much did you pay for this computer? And I was like, how much is it worth now, or how much did I pay? And the guy that was like doing the bag check was like, cool. We were chatting. He was like petting Mila, you know, I mean, it's just his job, right? And I was like, I paid like $800 for it like last year. And he goes, okay, it's worth $500. I'm like, okay. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, you have to pay 20% of $500. I pay the $95 or whatever it was. I think it was 19 or 18%, something like that, to get my second laptop into Mexico, which I've been traveling with 2 laptops for a while and I've never heard this rule. It's not totally uncommon in the Cancun airport that they'll try and add extra fees on. And again, it probably is a rule, but just not widely followed. So anyways, I'm stressed about that. We've been in customs way too long. We're late for our taxi. Get in the taxi, get to Playa del Carmen, get in the house, set up everything for Mila, start unpacking my stuff. I don't have my passport. Did I leave it at the airport? I was very rude to the guy that I paid at the customs office. Like, there's no way I can't go back there. I was not nice to that guy. I contact the taxi office. I'm like, we have it. So they can bring it back, but it's $60 on top of the $70 that I've already paid them for the taxi. Honestly, I'm just glad they're bringing them back. I don't care. But today just cost me an extra like $150 that I was not anticipating on spending. So that's where we're filming in our co-living space because I couldn't get my camera out. I was too heated and I didn't want to bring attention to myself in the airport. And to be honest, I just wanted to get me and Mila out of there and just get us into the place. So Mila is fine. She's doing what she does and she's under the bed. That's where she feels safe when we get to a new place. So she's okay. This is pretty standard from when we're at a new place. She might take a couple of hours just to hang out under the bed or somewhere really small where she feels safe. I put her food under there so she can eat while she's there, and she already ate a bunch, so I think she's fine. Okay, guys, I think that's all for this time. Thank you all so much for joining us in the entire process of traveling with Mila. It's a lot of work, and it's a fair amount of money, but it's worth it. I couldn't imagine my life without her, so I'm gonna get some rest. We'll see you guys very soon.